guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know, I am Alex and we are back with another Sister Wives breakdown. To be honest with you, this episode, I get annoyed with Tony, I get annoyed with Cody, and I cut a lot of my notes out because I'm just annoyed, and we're going to go probably on a tangent at the end. So, this episode, we're already at Christmas. Again, the timeline's wonky this season. So this is Cody's first Christmas with one wife. I don't know why he's harping on the fact that he's having holidays with one wife. Like, this is a product of you and Robin's making, so I don't really know why you're upset. Christine spends it with Aspen and Mitch, truly the kids, Mackenzie and Tony, and the grandkids. Janelle is it with Maddie and Mitch in North Carolina. Mary spent it with some friends. In this episode, they talk a lot about Christine and David's relationship. And I am a Christine fan, but I am a little frustrated with her in this episode. That's just me, but I still love her. Aspen says that her mom's been on a couple dates with David, and they're excited for her. They go to Cody, and they ask Cody about Christine's relationship with David, and he says, I don't want to know anything. He doesn't want this. They start talking about David, and Mackenzie says how she let David hold her kids, which says a lot because she doesn't let anyone, and I fully understand that. I'm very protective of my child. I don't let just anyone in and anyone hold my kid. Tony annoys me this episode with just his comments. So I took out Tony's stuff because he just annoys me. Like, the way he talks in this episode is just weird to me, and I feel like he's giving her crap because Christine was hard on Mackenzie and Tony, but I feel like he's going about it in the wrong way, my opinion. Christine says that, like, they're talking about how the kids feel about her dating and how the kids feel about Tony, and Christine says that her kids' feelings don't change things, which I fully get. So I get where the criticism of that comment is coming from as a parent. But at the same time, I feel that I don't want to say the only one's opinion who matters is truly, but most of them are adult children. So yes, to an extent, her adult children's feelings matter, but I also feel like not that they're not as important, but truly being comfortable is, in my opinion, a little bit more important. And I feel like the older ones, especially after, because I'm watching a lot of episodes, they do come around to David. So I feel like I get where Christine's coming from, but I also get where I also am like, but you're the mom. Like, I get it. I wrote Tony irritates me like 3 times on this paper. Tony irritates me in this episode. I don't know how to explain it. Tony irritates me, and I don't know why he irritates me so much, but he does. They talk about how Isabel's having a hard time with it, which I wanted to touch on. I think the reason why people are hard on Christine is because Isabel's having such a hard time with it, but I think that we all have to take into account that Isabel's relationship with her father is not great, and we have to remember that for a very long time, Christine was in charge of facilitating that relationship with her father. And I think the reason why Isabel is having such a hard time, because her only viewpoint of a remarriage and kids being involved is Robin's. And we all know what Robin did to the father of her children. Now, I do also want to note that she claims she was abused at one point. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to speculate that. So I think Isabel's also having a hard time because she's 18 now. She just became an adult. She's in a transition herself. And I think that also plays a role in it. So she turns 18, her family falls apart, her mom starts dating. Those are big life changes. And I love that Christine does give her the space to communicate those things. And we see a conversation in a later episode that shows that they have a conversation about Cody, but I won't talk about that now. They talk about how it is moving fast, and Mykelti says that she proposed to Tony after 2 months. And I thought this was really like just a great sibling moment, so I did make note of it, that Isabella's like, oh, it's not about you, Mykelti. And I just thought that that was like a really cool sister moment, because I don't think we see much of that sibling relationship on camera as much. So I thought that was really cool. Christine talks about how she wants David to meet Janelle, which I think is really, 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 really important to Christine. And I think that's really, and we see, I've kind of watched a couple episodes in a row, so that does happen, and it's just cool that she does it. So then we move on to Janelle. And Janelle and Maddie discuss the property and about how Maddie wanted to purchase it from buy out Janelle. Like that, Maddie and Mitch wanted to buy out Janelle. Cody claims to have never heard this conversation. I don't believe a word that comes out of Cody's mouth on camera anymore, because honestly, I don't believe for 1 second that he doesn't watch what goes on with some of the stuff that he does on camera. And then they talk about how Janelle's consulting a lawyer, and like Mitch does talk about like how he's proud of her, which I thought was really cool, because Mitch and Cody were like this at one point, and part of me wonders what happened there, and then the other part of me is like, I don't want to know, maybe. And I think that honestly, like Maddie and Mitch going to North Carolina was the best thing they could have done. It's sad that Cody's relationships with his adult children are falling apart, but that's on Cody, like I said yesterday. And yeah, so then we go to Mary and Cody's chat. And this is where I get real annoyed real quickly at this man. Honestly, I didn't even write everything that I have, because I'm just like basically... So they have a conversation, and Mary talks about how she's moving, and Cody's like, why are you moving? Like, he's acting dumb, and he's also acting kind of like a child right now, in my opinion. And then Cody just kind of goes on tangents about how, like, he doesn't understand, like, he's sorry that he couldn't figure it out sooner, blah, 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 all those things, right? And then he gets to talking about the release. He's like, why'd you move so fast on that? And Mary's just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, why'd she move so fast on this? Have you been watching the same show we've been watching, sir? You've like led her on for 10 years, letting her believe that she was going to get a second chance at marriage with you. And now you're like, why'd she move so fast? Like, did the hair dye seep through your head, sir? Like, I don't understand. And then he talks about how he doesn't feel that the release is fair because he doesn't feel he abandoned her. Sir, you may not view it as abandonment, but obviously the AUB leader felt it was abandonment, and the rest of us watching the show are sitting there like, you abandoned her, sir. You did. You did. And, you know, I don't want to necessarily say that you did it because of Robin. I'm sure there's 1,000 reasons that you could have done it. And, you know, I understand why your one child does not talk to you. I understand why the child you two have together does not talk to you. It makes complete and utter sense right now. Like, you are mad at Mary for doing this, and then you are mad at Mary for not leaving. Which one is it? Are you mad at Mary for leaving, or are you not mad at Mary for leaving? Like, it's just annoying to me, this whole narrative of his that, like, I didn't abandon Mary. Mary should have left a long time ago. Sir, that's not how this works. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they basically have this whole conversation about it. He does talk about how this was hard for Robin and all these things. And I'm sitting here like, listen, in the beginning of these seasons, I had complete empathy for Robin. I felt for her situation. I truly, truly did. I felt for her. She really wanted, and for whatever reason, she really wanted to live polygamy. My problem is that she came in, she got married to legally divorce her husband so he could adopt the kids, and according to multiple people on social media that have watched this, that didn't need to occur. Then you watched their relationship fall apart, okay? You weren't supposed to have this big wedding. You weren't supposed to have all these things. You weren't supposed to do this. You weren't supposed to do that. Like, you did all these things deliberately. Like, you were just going to go to the courthouse because it's a piece of paper. It doesn't change anything. But yet, you brought a camera to document the event. And then you had this big TLC wedding. And I'm like, which anniversary do you celebrate? Like, there's just so many things. And then, Christine gets fed up and she leaves. Janelle gets fed up and she leaves. Mary gets fed up and she leaves. And Cody and Robin are the only relationship that is standing from that. And you both sit there and you're like, I don't understand. At this point, I don't know how to help you. What don't you understand? We could pull clips from all the way back to season 1 of where probably there was a bunch of red flags that Christine was unhappy, especially. So, and the other thing is that you were so upset about Mary going to the church that you made it about Christine, as somebody from the YouTube that I follow, Notes to Self, said, who's the daughter of the AUB leader, you made it all about Christine. If you're so upset that Mary went to the church, why'd you make it about Christine? Like, you don't make sense to me. And honestly, as I've been watching the first 6 episodes, because I've done recaps on all of them, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering if you still love Christine and that's the problem for you. Like, I'm genuinely asking, because you sit there and you say, I don't have feelings for Christine, but then you throw hissy fits about things. And that's what makes me think you still love Christine. Because hurt people hurt people. And I don't know if you're actually having this conversation about abandonment with Mary or Christine. Like, I don't know who you're really talking to, because honestly, it's confusing to me. You wanted Mary gone, you got Mary gone. Listen, I'm not saying Mary is a perfect human, okay? There are plenty of things that I am sure we could pull clips on for Mary to do wrong. I get it. She hurt you. She had a catfish relationship. But that just goes to show you, Cody, that she wasn't happy to begin with. Because happy people, listen, I don't condone cheating. I'm going to preface it with that. I don't condone cheating. But happy people don't go look somewhere else for something. Happy people don't do that. And women tend to have emotional affairs. And that's what she did. Now, granted, the person she ended up having that relationship with ended up not being who it was. Which I've always said that if the person Mary was having a conversation with was real, she probably would have left. Now, I'm not saying anything about this person ended up being a woman or anything like that. From what I've read, she's allegedly a con artist, but I don't know how true that is. Like, I have nothing against that. My thing is that the catfish, that the whole legal divorce was a tipping point, and then the catfish happened, and people who are genuinely happy don't go looking for other people. Mary was distraught signing that piece of paper, and you've negated that this whole entire time. And so I don't know why you're acting surprised that the church is like, yeah, you did abandonment, because that's what you did. You may not view it that way, but that's what you did. And that's kind of where this episode ends. I wish Cody would sit there and watch the first season 2 now and look at everything that happened and be like, I see the moment where my family fell apart. He doesn't. And there are a few episodes that I want to rewatch and recap that have to do with certain things. The legal divorce, the other stuff like that. There's some other episodes that I want to recap, and go back and look at things that were like they're not necessarily red flags, but were significant in my opinion. So that's on my list to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 6 recap. Since I have episode 7 and episode 8 done, I'm going to recap all of these in my car since I have time, and that's what I'm going to sit here and do.